Alright guys, so I just watched the Nintendo Direct, and I do have to say it felt pretty underwhelming this time around, and I know we've had quite a few underwhelming ones in the past, but this one just didn't really catch me on a lot of the things they showed off. However, there were some things that did get me excited, and I will get into those in this video. And so, with that being said, here next week when they do their Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, I do plan to live stream that one, so I do invite you all to come and watch that with me and get excited. That's the one I'm most excited about. But all right, let me go ahead and get into 5 things about this Nintendo Direct that I actually am excited about. All right, so we have to talk about Shadow Labyrinth because it's Pac-Man and it's a Metroidvania. It looks really good. I'm really excited for this game. It triggers that old school gamer in me for sure. And I will be buying this day one. I might even consider streaming this game. I highly recommend anyone who is an old school gamer like me to definitely look into this one, watch some gameplay. It looks really good. I don't really know what else I can say about it. I do have to say though that I find it clever that they call the character Puck, and you can use him for different things. There's even a couple of nods to the actual Pac-Man game with the sound effects and how you can eat the little pellets on the side of the platforming. Overall, I'm really excited for this game, and I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this one for sure. Okay, so I definitely want to talk about Gradius. Now, full disclosure on this one, this is the first time I referred to it by that name because I always called it Gradius. All these years, me and my friends, that's what we called it. It was the second Nintendo game I ever owned on the original NES next to the Super Mario Brothers game. And then I remember beating that, and then my dad ended up buying me Life Force. So I was familiar with those two games. I never did play the Super Nintendo one. I regret that to this day. But I remember playing that game a lot. And Salamander, I am not too familiar with that one. I don't know if we ever got a US release or not. Let me know in the comments if that was something we got because I wasn't familiar with it. But I am super excited for this collection. And it looks like they even said that there's going to be a brand new sequel to the Salamander series. So that's exciting. I love bullet hell games. And I definitely love space shooters and things like that. So I'm excited for this one. But like I said, it's still blowing my mind that it's referred to as Gradius because that's how they said it in this direct. Let me know how you pronounce this game's name because I always called it Gradius. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. But I'm super excited for this for sure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and admit that when it comes to the Pokemon series, I do remember watching the old anime cartoon when I was growing up, but I never really got into the games that much. It's only recently that I've kind of got into Pokemon. Now, a lot of my friends and a lot of people I know are heavy into Pokemon and have been for a long time. But I would say that I'm fairly new to the franchise as far as like really getting to know it. Of course, I knew your staples like Pikachu and Ash and all of them. But yeah, it's only recently. In fact, it was Pow World that actually got me more into Pokemon. I played when I downloaded and played that game. I'm like, I'm gonna give Pokemon an actual try. And I remember buying Pokemon Sword, I believe, for the Nintendo Switch. And so that was the first time I really got into a Pokemon game. And so I'm actually excited for this one. I'm definitely going to be checking it out for sure. I like some of the concept they're introducing in this one. Like you got that big open world city and you have the ranking system. And then at night, people can randomly challenge you. I think that's great. I will definitely be looking more into this because I want to know more about the Pokemon franchise because I honestly never got into it as much until recently. All right, so I want to talk about the virtual carts. Basically, Nintendo talked about how if you download a game now, you can set it as a virtual cartridge and then you can lend it to your family members. They didn't say anything about friends. It sounds like they have to be on your family network. Now, in a household like mine where there are multiple switches, you know, it would be really great to be able to lend the games back and forth so other people can go and play. And what's cool is it looks like it automatically gives the game back to you after a time. Do you remember growing up lending a game to a friend and sometimes they wouldn't get the game back to you for months? I know that happened to me many times. In fact, there were cases where I would lend a game out and I completely forgot that I lended the game out in the first place. And then I'm like, where is it? And then I remember, oh, I lended that to this friend. And then they would sometimes be like, oh, I don't remember. I thought I gave it back to you. Like, that's happened to me before in the past. And I stopped lending games out after that because I knew for a fact that I had. But I think this is great, especially since we are moving more and more towards digital. And unfortunately, physical media is starting to slowly go to the wayside. I honestly hope that physical media never goes away. I do tend to buy more digital now than I ever used to, but there are special occasions where I have to have the physical media. So I think that this is actually great. I think Nintendo's going to start a new trend with this one. At least I'm hoping they are. And maybe we'll see other companies follow suit with this kind of thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the last thing, and that being Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I am really excited for this game because I love the Metroid franchise. I am so happy that Nintendo is finally giving the Metroid franchise way more love than they used to here in the past. It almost felt like a forgotten thing that Nintendo even had because I felt like there for a while they were just throwing little experimental games out there and there wasn't anything more to it. Like Other M, for example, that is actually a Metroid game I enjoyed. However, I felt like it could have been better. I love the Prime series. I'm also excited for if they ever do a new traditional Metroid game. But this one seems pretty unique in the fact that they are giving Samus psychic abilities, it looks like, and some puzzles to solve using that. I think that looks really neat. And I'm hoping that that does play into the combat as well. The graphics look really great for it being on Switch. I can only imagine what kind of graphics it would be on for Switch 2. And that's another reason I'm excited for the Switch 2. What kind of graphics are they going to have on that thing? And what kind of hardware specs? That's what I'm most interested in. But overall, I'm sure that I'm not alone when I say I cannot wait for Metroid Prime 4. I will be buying that day one, and I will be hooked on that for quite some time. That might even be another game I stream when it finally does drop. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about these things. These were the 5 things that I enjoyed for the Nintendo Direct. Otherwise, yeah, it wasn't that great. So that's why I'm looking more forward to next week when we get more about the Switch 2. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and a sub. If you are new here, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video.